Well, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome back to the Ringers Western Gold Buckle Championship round. First round here this morning at Willinga, and what a beautiful day we've been turned on. Blue skies, sunshine, top about 24 degrees. And of course, competition has been fierce here in the opening round of the Ringers Western Gold Buckle. Looking down the scoreline at this stage, Scott Bandy leads the competition, 89.67. Co-joint leaders with Hugh Miles riding Destiny Playgirl, both 89.67. Rounding out the top three is Mick Southern with 89.3. And then we go down to about 3 on 89. Rowan Marks with Turner Marks Linesman. Mark Palmer with Palmer's Capri. Josh Barnett with Ducks Dynasty, all on 89. So they sit at the top 5 here this morning in the opening round of the Ringers Western Gold Buckle here on day number 1 of competition. Well, welcome back our judges and officials, that being Wayne Smith from Tamworth, Dave Reeder from Gameri, and we welcome back from Glen Innes, Tom Williamson. Got a big weekend of competition coming up here. Of course, this is only the first day of competition, but as the weekend unfolds, of course, tomorrow morning we start at 6 o'clock once again with the second round of the Gold Buckle. It'll be followed later in the afternoon by the cut-out qualifying round, 6:30 till 7. And then, of course, Friday morning we start with the Ladies Dash for Cash, a big weekend for the ladies in the camp drafting world. Of course, this year, the inclusion of our junior and juvenile camp drafting competition. Saturday afternoon also sees the State of Origin, always a hotly contested competition, one not to be missed in any way, shape or form. It's once again, it's an absolute pleasure to be back here in Willinga, of course, working this year with Leslie Deneen and, of course, my good friend Gavin Baird from Scone down for the 4 days of competition. We're in for a big weekend, nearly $400 in prize money to be distributed amongst our winners and place getters. Of course, $100 to the winning rider of the competition. It's going to be a great weekend for the big players in the camp drafting world. But of course, don't forget, there's more than just the camp drafting. We've got some motorbike demonstrations later on Saturday afternoon. We've got the live music, entertainers, always a great place to party. And of course, catch up with some of the locals here in a beautiful part of the world. So ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax. Keep an eye on that leaderboard at this stage, 89.69. Scott Bandy riding Rooster, as is Hugh Miles, Destiny's Playgirl. They lead the race in the opening round of our Ringers Western Gold Buckle Championship camp draft competition. First competitor in the camp here in this section, 101, is Pat Watson riding Miss JJ. Of course, 102 at the gate is Lenny Hardwick with Democracy. 103, Mark Buttsworth, not that far away, with Nonda Southern Cross. And we also need 104, Danny Farley with Bets, to be on standby, please.
Throwing yoke. What's free dough for? Oh, it's his name, something. What is that? Canes. I don't know why it's named that. Who was that? That was Canes. Yeah. Let's get one throwing yoke. Oh, what, sorry? Oh, just a throwing yoke. You're up in a couple of minutes, already.
Oh, what? 20 minutes.
Huh?
20 minutes.
Yeah, 11:30. Wait, let me check. No. 11:30.
Hasn't started yet. As soon as the gate says, didn't it? 20 minutes.
So we get set for our first contestant. Once again, I'd like to take this opportunity to, of course, acknowledge our major partners, the naming rights sponsors of the Willinga Park. Ringers Western Wear Gold Buckle Campdraft Championship round. Ringers Western was formed in the rugged Kimberley region in Western Australia in 2012. The Ringers Western will always be inspired by its roots. Like a ringer, the Ringers Western, with its grassroots simplicity, high standards of design and quality, it is tough, adaptable, sometimes cheeky, but offers you class and loyalty. Of course, they are the naming rights for the Ringers Western Wear Gold Buckle Championship Campdrafting. We have 101 on the camp this time. This is Pat Watson with Miss JJ. 102 at the gate, Lenny Hardwick with Democracy. And 103, Mark Buttsworth with Nonda Southern Cross. And we've got our score through for our first contestant, 101 in this section. We had a camp score of 21, 54 points for horsework, 3 for course, and a grand total of 78 for Pat Webster, riding Miss JJ. Now on camp at this stage is 102, Lenny Hardwick with Democracy. 103 at the gate is Mark Buttsworth with Nonda Southern Cross. And 104 is Danny Farley with Bets. That was competitor Lenny Hardwick with Democracy, 102. In the camp at 103 is Mark Buttsworth with Nonda Southern Cross. That's David and Heather Pascoe's nomination. Number 104, Danny Farley with Bets, and 105 will be back in the camp. Will be Josh Barnett with Simply Irreductible. We have the score coming through for Lenny Hardwick with Democracy, 20.67 for camp, 62 points for horsework, 4 for course, and it's an 86.67. We're watching on course 103, Mark Buttsworth with Nonda Southern Cross. In the camp to be ready, please, 104, Danny Farley riding Bets. He'll be followed in this event by Josh Barnett, 105 with Simply Irreductible, and 106 will be Andrew Turvey, Cats and Roses. Scores have come through for Nando's Southern Cross and Mark Buttsworth. 20.67 for camp, 58.67 for horsework, 4 for course, and a final score of 83.33. We're watching on camp as we look down. 104, Danny Farley riding bets. 105 at the gate will be Josh Barnett with Simply Irreductible. And 106 to be on standby, Andrew Turvey with Cats Undefined and Roses. And our scores have come through for bets at 104, Danny Farley. We've got a camp score of 22. 56.67 for horsework, 3 for course, and a grand total of 81.67. We're watching on camp 105, Josh Barnett with Simply Irreductible. 106 at the gate will be Andrew Turvey with Cats and Roses. And 107, Hugh Miles, Just Jack to be on standby. And that was Josh Barnett with Simply Irreductible, 105 in the competition. 106 in the camp will be Andrew Turvey with Cats and Roses. 107 Hugh Miles with Just Jack, and 108 we move down will be Josh Gibson with Acres Outlaws. Simply Irreductible score for Josh Barnett is 22.33 in the camp, 58 points for horsework. We've got a 3 for course and a grand total of 83.33 for Josh Barnett, 105. That was Cats and Roses, Andrew Turvey at 106, who had a camp score of 16.33, 16.33 only. 107 in the camp, we turn our attention to Just Jack and Hugh Miles. 108 at the gate will be Josh Gibson with Acres Outlaw, and 109 will be Brett Staines with Mumbula Barracuda. And a very special thanks to our principal partners of the Willinga Park Season and principal partners Foresight for their support, providing quality joint supplements for not only our equine and canine friends, but also us as humans. You can scan the QR code around the venue for your chance to win the ultimate Foresight and Osteo Restore joint support packs, valued at over $2,500. Well, a very, very respectable run for Josh Gibson, one of the partners in the Foresight sponsorship of this particular competition. He will be in the camp next in this competition. Josh Gibson riding Outlaw, Acres Outlaw. He'll be followed by 109, Brett Staines with Mumbula Barracuda. And 110 in the competition will be Mick Otten. We've got a score for Hugh Miles, Just Jack, 22.33 in the camp. 57.3 for horsework, 3 for course, grand total of 82.67. We're watching on course this time. This is Josh Gibson with Acres Outlaw. 109 in the camp will be Brett Staines with Mumbula Barracuda. 110 will be Mick Otten. Number 111, 111 will be Ben Hall with Marnie's North. Well, once again, we've got a camp score coming through. Scores will be through for Acres Outlaw and Josh Gibson. Into the camp next, we will have Brett Staines with Mumbula Barracuda. Josh Gibson's score coming through with Acres Outlaw, 21 for camp. 60.67 for horsework, 4 for course, 85.67. We're watching on the camp this time, Mumbula Barracuda at 109 and Brett Staines in the saddle. 110 at the gate will be Mick Otten with Mumbula Anatomy. Number 111, Ben Hall with Marnie's North. And number 112 to be on standby will be Pete Comiskey with Seligance. Just a reminder, competitors, tomorrow morning we start at 7 a.m. It was previously advertised earlier at 6 o'clock, but it is a 7 a.m. start in the morning. 7 a.m. for the Gold Buckle round number 2 of competition. We have a score coming through for Brett Staines. It was a camp score of 16.33. 16.33, a camp score only for Brett Staines, Mumbula Barracuda. $110 on the camp this time will be Mick Otten, riding Mumbula Anatomy. Number 111, Ben Hall with Marnie's North. 112, Pete Comiskey with Seligance. Very, very special thanks to the Willinga Pastoral Company for the livestock and the cattle we've seen in this opening round. Of course, homed at Hillview, and of course have been presented here this weekend in absolutely perfect condition for the Willinga Ringers Gold Buckle Western Wear Championship camp drafting competition. Watching on course that time, that was Mick Otten, Mumbula Anatomy. At the camp next, we welcome all the way down from Julia Creek. Once again here for Willinga, it'll be Ben Hall at 111, riding Marnie's North. 112, Pete Comiskey with Seligans. And then we move on down to 113, Wade McElveen, riding Ducks and Drakes. Scores come through for Mick Otten. With Mumbula Anatomy will be 19.33 for camp, 60.67 for horsework, 4 for course. Grand total in this first round of 84 points. That, ladies and gentlemen, was Ben Hall riding Damien Kerr's nomination from Julia Creek, Marnie's North. We'll have those scores through shortly, but on camp next we've got 112, Pete Comiskey with Seligans. 113 at the gate will be Wade McElveen with Ducks and Drakes. 114 will be Carl Green with Gazelle. Okay, Marnie North's score comes through for Ben Hall at 111. We've got a score in the camp at 21.67. 62 points for horsework, 4 for course, and a total of 87.67. We're watching on the arena at this stage, Pete Comiskey with Seligans. Into the camp to follow on will be Wade McElveen with Ducks and Drakes. 114, Carl Green with Gazelle. 115, we'll be back to Troy Palmer with Big Red. Well, it's Pete Comiskey once again on track here this morning in the opening round of our Ringers Western Wear Gold Buckle Championship Gold Buckle Round, first round competition. Pete Comiskey with Seligans all the way down from Nebo, former 3 times winner of this competition. Scores today for Pete will be 17.33 for camp, 60.3 for horsework, 4 for course, total in this round of 81.67. On the cab we're watching this time, it'll be Wade McElveen down from Manila riding Ducks and Drakes. 114 at the gate, we'll have Carl Green with Gazelle. 115, Troy Palmer with Big Red. And that'll be followed on by 116, Matthew Moffat with PV Grasshopper. We have the second round of our Ringers Western Wear Gold Buckle Camp Drafting starting at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. And of course, we come back at around about lunchtime on Friday. That's around about 12:30. The Gold Buckle semi-final competition always starts to heat up. And of course, that is when we group together our finalists for the big day on Saturday afternoon. The Gold Buckle final competition generally starts about 1:30, 1:45. But we just watched on course on that occasion Wade McElveen with Ducks and Drakes. That's Dale and Debbie Poole's nomination from Manila in northern New South Wales. Scores have come through for Ducks and Drakes. 113 Wade McElveen, 19.67 for camp, 62.33 for horsework, 4 for course, grand total of 86 points. What you got on camp? This is 114, Carl Green from Walker, riding Gazelle. He'll be followed in the camp by Troy Palmer at 115 with Big Red, 116 Matt Moffat with PV Grasshopper, and we move to a 117 Ben Maiden with EV Costa. That, ladies and gentlemen, was Jake Marshall's nomination, 114, ridden by Carl Green, Gazelle. Carl down from Walker in the northern New England region of New South Wales. Okay, scores are through for Gazelle and Carl Green, 20.67 for camp, 61.33 for horsework, 4 for course, 86 points in this first round of the Gold Buckle competition. We move down to 115 on camp. This is Troy Palmer, riding Willinga Park's nomination, Big Red. We followed at the gate by Matt Moffat with PV Grasshopper, 116. 117 will be Ben Maiden with EV Costa. And we move on to 118, Cameron Webster with Bob to be on standby, please. Well, that certainly will keep the Willinga Park flag flying here this weekend. That's Troy Palmer representing Willinga Park with Big Red at 115 in the competition. Scores will be coming through very, very shortly. 116 in the camp. We want Matthew Moffat with PV Grasshopper. Big Red scored through at 115 and Troy Palmer 21.67 for camp. 61 points for horsework, 4 for course, 86.67 in this opening go-round. It is Matt Moffat in the camp, PV Grasshopper at 116. At our gate, we should have Ben Maiden with 117 EV Costa. 118 will be Cameron Webster with Bob. And we move down to 119, John Mitchell with Conacy. That, ladies and gentlemen, was indeed, on that occasion, Kane E. Hanrahan's nomination from Cabra. That was PV Grasshopper, ridden by Matthew Moffat. Scores are through, Matthew. 22 for camps, 58.67 for horsework, 4 for course. A grand total in this event of 84.67. We're watching on camp as we speak. This time it is Ben Maidham riding E.V. Costa. This is Andrew and Carolyn Burns' nomination from Bective. Ben Maidham at 117. At the gate, Cameron Webster with Bob, 118. 119 will be John Mitchell with Conacy. And at 120, Dean Rogers with Darley Sweet Chili. And a camp score for Ben Maidham and E.V. Costa of 21.33. 21.33. $118 on the camp. This is Cameron Webster riding Cameron and Sarah Webster's nomination from Wandoan, Queensland. This is Bob at 118. 119 will have back at the gate John Mitchell with Conacy. Number 120, Dean Rogers with Darley Sweet Chili. 121 to be on standby is Philip Collins with J. Bell Molly. Number 122 will be John Turvey back to the gate with Willinga Park Fable. Just while we do have a few moments, so once again I'd like to express our gratitude on behalf of Willinga Park to the Shepherd Electrical, who provides superior electrical services throughout their Willinga Park facility. Also the His Way, providing civil infrastructure and construction services throughout the Willinga Park precinct. Event partners include the Construction Control to provide all the construction and building services to Willinga Park. Bishop's Milton, official stock feed and produce suppliers. Cooper Performance Horses, they're located at Meadowbank at Kingswood, just 5 minutes south of the city of Tamworth. They're just a few of the partners that have contributed to the support of camp drafting here for our Gold Buckle Ringers Western Wear Championship competition. Well, we just watched on that occasion. That was Cameron Webster. With Cameron and Sarah Webster's nomination, Bob at 118. Scores are coming through. We've got a 16.33 in the camp, 60 for horsework, 4 for course. Grand total of 80.33 in this opening round of competition. We'll move and turn our attention to 119. This is Consissi. John Mitchell's nomination joins us here this weekend from Tuma. He'll be followed by 120 at the gate, Dean Rogers with Darley Sweet Chili. 121, Philip Collins with J. Bell Molly. 122, be ready, John Turvey with Willinga Park Fable. The camp score coming through for our previous competitor, 119, John Mitchell with Consissi, 22.33. Camp score only, 22.33. We turn our attention to 120 in the competition here this morning. This is Lee Rogers' nomination, ridden by Dean. Darley Sweet Chili. Join us from Bega here on the south coast of New South Wales, a lovely part of the world. 121 is Philip Collins with J. Bell Molly at the gate. 122, John Turvey with Willinga Park Fable. And at 123, Gus Malone with Miss Ivory. And that will complete the performance with our contestant on course, Dean Rogers with Darley Sweet Chili. They were 120 in the competition here this morning. Dean Rogers with Darley Sweet Chili. Scores have come through for Darley Sweet Chili. It's 23 points for Camp, 62.67 for Horsework, 4 for Course, and a grand total in our competition to take him to equal in the lead of our series, 89.67 for Dean Rogers with Darley Sweet Chili. Joins a three-way lead in our competition. We're watching 121 on the camp. This is Philip Collins with J. Bell Molly. Nominated by Collins Payton. Be followed by 122, John Turvey, Willinga Park Fable. 123, Gus Malone, Miss Ivy, and then we move to Bruce O'Dell to be ready, Bruce, with Abby's Romance. That was 121 in our competition. That was indeed Philip Collins with J. Bell Molly. Scores have come through. It is 22 points in the camp, 58.67 for Horsework, 3 for Course, and a grand total here this morning of 83.67. 83.67. Okay, we move down the line a little further. A man that's contributed a great deal of time and energy to our Willinga Park competition. This is John Turvey, riding Terry Snow's nomination, Willinga Park Fable. John joins us from St George, southeast Queensland. A long way from home, but a very renowned and successful campdraft rider. To be ready at 123 into the camp next will be Gus Malone with Miss Ivy, 124 Bruce O'Dell, and then we come back to 125 with John Templeton. And that was Willinga Park Fable, ridden on this occasion at 122 by John Turvey. Scores have come through, and it's a 21.67 in the camp, 58.33 for Horsework, 3 for Course. Total in this round in the opening section of 83 points for Willinga Park Fable, 83 points. We move on to the camp. Next in will be 123 in our competition. This is Gus and Kylie Malone's nomination from Tumut. This is Miss Ivy. 124, Bruce O'Dell at the gate with Abby's Romance. 125 is John Templeton with Shadow Park's Exclusive. And at 126, not that far away, is Geordie Stockdale with Lazy Demystified. That, ladies and gentlemen, was 123 in the competition. That was Gus Maloney with Miss Ivory. Scores have come through for Miss Ivory, and the score is 21 points, 21.3 in the camp, 57 for horsework, 4 for course. Total in this event of 82.33, 82.33. We shift our attention down to the next contestant from Malden, Victoria. 124 is Bruce Odell with Abby's Romance. This is Carla McNabb's Bailey Odell's nomination. Abby's Romance. 125 at the gate is John Templeton with Shadow Park Exclusive. 126, Geordie Stockdale. And at 127, Lockie Sim with Highbrow Heaven CD. That on that occasion was Bruce Odell with Abby's Romance. At 124 in the competition, his camp score is 21.33. 60.33 for horsework, 4 for course. Total of 85.67. 85.67 for Abby's Romance. In the camp now is 125, Shadows Park Exclusive, John Templeton's nomination. 126 at the gate will be Geordie Stockdale with Lazy Demystified. 127, not that far away, is Lockie Sim with Highbrow Heaven CD. And at every 25 competitors, we have a cattle change. At every 100, we work and re-prepare the arena surface. So the situation is that we endeavour to keep things as smooth and as even. And of course, give each and every one of our participants, 368 contestants compete here this morning, today, throughout the first round of the Ringers Western Gold Buckle Championship competition. And just a reminder, 7 a.m. tomorrow morning we start round number 2. That's 7 a.m. with the second round. Later on that evening at around about 6:30 to be advised, it'll be the cutout qualifier. The cutout qualifier competition. Of course, the final of that event is staged on the Friday evening. A big night of plenty of support and always a lot of fun here on the Friday night competition. We have the ladies dash for cash and presentation, followed by the cutout final. Big day Friday and Saturday. We're watching on camp 125, John Templeton with Shadow Park Exclusive from Kingaroy. Followed by 126 at the gate will be Geordie Stockdale with Lazy Demystified. 127, Lockie Sim. And our scores have come through for 125, Shadow Park exclusive. John Templeton's nomination, we have a camp score of 21. 51.67 for horsework, 3 for course, and a grand total here in this round of 75.67. That's 75.67. Let's move our attention down to the camp. This is 126 in your catalogue. This is Geordie Stockdale's nomination, Lazy Demystified. 127 at the gate will be Lockie Sim with Highbrow Heaven CD. And 128 will be Kerry Turner's back with Turner's Stud Reward. That was indeed 126 in your catalogue here this morning. That was Lazy Demystified and Geordie Stockdale. We've got a camp score of... Okay, we've had a little technical problem, but we're back on air. We've got a camp score of 21.67. 21.67 for camp, 21.67 only. We're watching on a camp at this stage. This is Lockie Sim with Highbrow Heaven CD. 128 at the gate will be Turner's Stud Reward and Kerry Turner. 120 time is John Mulcahy with Stratton Jest Rosie. 130 Mick Southern with Seligman's Comet. And that, ladies and gentlemen, we saw on that occasion was 127. Lockie Sims riding. Rick and Sophie McMookie. Nomination from Holbrook, Highbrow Heaven CD. Scores come through. We got a 21 point for camp. 58 points for horsework, 4 for course. Grand total in this first round of 83 points. 83 points. Okay, I've just had an update on the correction score for Highbrow Heaven CD. Lockie Sim, it was a 21 points for camp, 61.33 for horsework, 4 for course, grand total of 86.33, 86.33. We're watching on the course as we speak. This is 128. This is Kerry Turner riding St. Turner's nomination, Turner's Stud Reward. The camp score coming through is 20.33. 20.33 for Kerry Turner and Turner's Stud Reward, 20.33. Back to the camp, it is 129 in your catalogue. This is Stratton Guest Rosie, John Mulcahy's nomination. Joins us this weekend from Roma. 130, we mix Southern at the gate with Seligman's Comet. And 131, Matt Holtz back. riding Cass. 132, it'll be David Thorne to be on standby with One Stylish Jewel. Okay, we've got the scores coming through for Stratton, Guest, Rosie and John Mulcahy. There were 129 in the catalogue. With a camp score of 20.67, 57.67 for horsework, 4 for course. Total in this opening round of our Gold Buckle of 82.33, 82.33. Let's move to the camp and focus on 130. This is Mick Southern's nomination, Seligman's Comet. 131 at the gate. Matty Holtz is back with Cass. 132, David Thorne with One Stylish Jewel to be on standby, please, Dave. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was 130. That was Seligman's Comet and Mick Southern. We've got a camp score of 22 only. 131 in the camp this time will be, on this occasion, Matt Holtz riding Fiona Gordon's nomination from Jindra. This is Cass. Number 132 at the gate, David Thorne with One Stylish Jewel. At 133, Dana Shea with Federal Park Diva. 134, Woodrow Dow with Razor 49er.
Walk up.
And we've got a camp score through for 131. Matt Holtz riding Cass. It was a camp score of 22.33, 22.33. Okay, we're watching on course on this occasion. This is 132 in the competition. This is David Thorne riding One Stylish Jewel. 133 is Dana Shea with Federal Park Diva. And 134, Woodrow Dow riding Razor 49er. Camp scores through for our last competitor. We've got the camp score through for David Thorne. One stylish duel, 22.33. Score of 22.33 in the camp for one stylish duel. Okay, 133 is back in the camp. This is Dana Shea with Federal Park Diva. 134 at the gate is Woodrow Dow with Razor 49er. And then we'll have 135, Ben McNaughton with Always Again. 136, Scott Bandy not that far away with Summer Heat. Just while we do have a few moments, it is without any doubt this complex here at Willinga Park, the vision by founder Mr. Terry Snow, something that's a world-class facility. His vision to create the world-class equestrian park to provide a platform to train, to compete, and caters for many equestrian disciplines. Show jumping, dressage, eventing, and without any doubt the Australia's most attractive camp drafting competition. It's the equine facility, includes 5 all-weather state-of-the-art arenas, grandstands, stables, and luxury accommodation. Of course, the show jumping arenas, covered arenas, a warm-up area, Grand Prix arena. Total of 292 event stables and campsites here this weekend. Well, we'll have a score through, a camp score for Dana Shea. It's a camp score of 20 only. We look down the camp, it's 134. This time it's Razor 49er. Ridden on this occasion by Woodrow Dow. 135 at the gate is Ben McNaughton with Always Again. 136 is Scott Bandy with Summer Heat. And 137 is Sarah Nichols with Conviction. Okay, we're watching on the course this time. This is Woodrow Dow riding Razors 49er from Manila, northern New South Wales. Moving into the camp to follow on will be Ben McNaughton with Always Again. The 136 at the gate will be Scott Bandy with Summer Heat. And 137, Sarah Nichols with Conviction. Camp score of 16 only for Woodrow Dow, and Razors 49 a camp score of 16 only. Moving to the camp at this stage is 135, Always Again. Ridden on this occasion by Ben McNaughton. Ben joins us from Walker in northern New South Wales. Followed by 136, Scott Bandy at the gate with Summer Heat. 137, Sarah Nichols, Conviction. Then we come back to 138. It'll be Matt Durkin. Good to see Matt back riding twice more. Well, that was on the course. That was 135, Always Again, Ben McNaughton's nomination. We have a camp score of 21.33 for Ben. 21.33. First round score in the competition. Looking down to the camp, we see 136 right forward. This is Scott Bandy's nomination, Summer Heat. 137 at the gate will be Sarah Nichols with Conviction. 138, Matt Durkin with Twice More. 139 will be Pete Comiskey, not that far away, with Irvine's Just Jim. Okay, we've got on the camp, this is 137. 137, we had a no score for our previous competitor, Scott Bandy with Summer Heat. 137 is Conviction, ridden in this event by Sarah Nichols. Sarah's nomination is from Joseph Phil, followed by 138 now coming into the camp will be Matt Durkin with Twice More. 139, Pete Comiskey, and 140 will be Laura Hardy. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was 137 in our competition here this morning. From Joseph Phil, that was Sarah Nichols with Conviction. Scores are coming through for that previous competitor. We got a score of 19 into camp, 58 points for horsework, 4 for course. Grand total in this first round of 81 points, 81. We're watching on camp 138. This is Twice More, written by Matt Durkin in this round of the competition. Matt makes his home these days in the country music city of Tamworth. He will be followed by 139, Pete Comiskey with Irvine's Just Jim. Number 140 will be Laura Hardy with Spinster's Destiny. 141, Hugh Miles with PCD, Stevie Nicks. And 142, Chelsea Peacock with Bacardi. Got a score coming through for Matt Durkin and Twice More. We've got a camp score of 22.33. 22.33 for Matt Durkin and Twice More. 139 in the camp, a former 3 times winner of this event at Willinga Park, Pete Comiskey with R&B Puttycombe's nomination, Irvine's Just Jim. Pete joins us from Nebo these days. He'll be followed by 140, Laura Hardy with Spinster's Destiny. 141, Hugh Miles at the gate, PCD, Stevie Mix. 142 in the competition this morning is Chelsea Peacock with Bacardi. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the master in action. 139 in our competition this morning. That's R&B Puttingham's nomination. Ridden by Pete Comiskey from Nebo, Irvine's Just Gem. We've got scores coming through for Irvine's Just Gem. We've got 21.67 camp. 62.67 for horsework, 4 for course, 88.33. Moves him into the top 12 in the competition at this stage with 88.33. We move down to 140 in the camp. This is Laura Hardy with Spinnister's Destiny, the Hardy family nomination from Warren, Western New South Wales. 141 at the gate, Hugh Miles with PCD, Stevie Nicks. 142, Chelsea Peacock with Bacardi. And we come back to 143 with Troy Palmer's Bad in Black. And we've got Spinster's Destiny score of 19.33 in the camp. 19.33 for Laura Hardy and Spinster's Destiny. We move down to 141 in our competition. This is PCD, Stevie Nicks and Hugh Miles from Tamworth. 142, Chelsea Peacock and Bacardi. 143 is Troy Palmer, Bad in Black. And we come to 144, Jeremy Storia with Salt and Gat. Just while we do have a few moments, don't of course forget the big State of Origin Teams Camp Drafting competition. Nominations are still open. This event is staged in the heat of the battle on Saturday afternoon. Nominations are still open for the teams competition, the State of Origin. Anyone wanting to nominate a team, it is $1,200 per team nomination. You can see Lauren down at the Secretary's office in the bottom level of the broadcast area. That's teams for the nominations in the State of Origin competition for Saturday afternoon. They're still open. You can see Lauren down there in the Secretary's office. We're watching on course. This is 142, Chelsea Peacock with Bacardi. She's riding the Peacock family. Nomination Bacardi. Join us from Dubbo here this weekend. Having to score through for our previous competitor. We got a camp score for Hugh Miles and PCD Stevie Nicks. 21 points for camp, 58 points for horsework, 4 for course. Grand total in this first round of 83 points, 83. We just saw Chelsea Peacock with Bacardi at 142 in the competition. On camp now is 143 Troy Palmer, Bad in Black. 144 to be ready. It will be John Templeton with Salt and Cat. Now, we just had a recap of Chelsea Peacock's camp score, 21.67 for Chelsea, and Bacardi, 21.67. We're watching on course at 143, Troy Palmer, Bad in Black, Willinga Park's nomination. Number 144, John Templeton with Salt and Cat, Jeremy Storius nomination. 145 is Mark Buttsworth with One Stylish Madonna, and 146, good to see Sarah Cookson back down from Dirranbandi riding hopscotch. And we've got the scores through for Bad in Black. Troy Palmer, 143 in the competition. 22.33 for camp. 61 points for horsework. 4 for course. Grand total in this round of 87.33. 87.33. We're watching on camp. This is John Templeton, 144 with Salt and Cat. 145 at the gate. Mark Buttsworth with One Stylish Madonna. And 146, Sarah Cookson Hopscotch. 147 is Charles Tapp with Notorious. And that was our contestant from Kingaroy, Queensland, in that round of the competition. John Templeton riding Salt and Cat was at 144 in the competition round. First round of the Ringers Western Gold Buckle Willinga Championship campdrafting competition. Second round of this event will be staged at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. 7 a.m. we start the second go round of this competition with the semi-final on Friday afternoon. John Templeton riding Salt and Cat. Scores come through at 144 in the competition. He had a camp score of 21.33. 59 points for horsework, 4 for course. Grand total of 84.33. 84.33. On course now is 145. This is One Stylish Madonna, Chris Cummins nomination, ridden by Mark Buttsworth. 146 into the camp. Next will be Sarah Cookson with Hopscotch. 147 at the gate is Charles Tapp with Notorious. And 148, Charlie Hengsberger with Tango. That was the contestant 145 in the competition. One Stylish Madonna, ridden on this occasion this morning by Mark Buttsworth. 146 in the camp is Sarah Cookson with Hopscotch. 147, Charles Tapp. Looking back at the scores, have just come through. It's confirmed 21.67 for camp for Mark Buttsworth, One Stylish Madonna. 59.33 for horsework. 4 for course. It's a grand total in this event of 85 points for One Stylish Madonna, 85. We're watching 146, Sarah Cookson, down from Dirranbandi, competing here this weekend. 147 at the gate is Charles Tapp with Notorious. 148, Charlie Hengsberger with Tango. And 149 is Ken Bolton.
Did they correct that score? Second last one. And 4.
That was our contestant at 146 in the competition. That was Hopscotch. Nominated and ridden here today by Dirham Bandies, Sarah Cookson. 147 back into camp, we'll have Charles Tapp. Scores are now through for Sarah Cookson, Hopscotch. 15.67 for camp, 62.33 for horsework, 4 for course. Total in this event of 82 points. We're watching Charles Tapp with Notorious 147 in the draw. 148 at the gate will be Charlie Hengsberger with Tango. 149 to be ready, please, is Ken Bolton with Open Vale and Lemo. And at 150, Matthew Moffat with Array's Alley Cat. That, ladies and gentlemen, was 147 in your catalogue this morning. That was Notorious, nominated and ridden in this event by Charles Tapp, down from Wandowen. 148 into the camp next. This time it'll be Charlie Hengsberger with Tango. Scores are through. We had a camp score for Notorious and Charles Tapp of 15. 55 points for horsework, 3 for course. 73 points is the total in the first round for Notorious and Charles Tapp. Moving right along as we're midway through this first round of the competition, 148 in your catalogue is Charlie Hengsberger's nomination, Tango. 149 at the gate should be Ken Bolton with Open Vale Alamo. 150, please stand by, will be Matthew Moffat with Hooray Alley Cat. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was 148 in our competition. Charlie Hengsberger riding Tango. Into the camp will be 149 in your catalogue. This is Ken Bolton with Open Vale Alamo from Stradbroke. 150 will be Matthew Moffat with Hooray's Alley Cat. We're watching this time. It'll be following on into the camp. 149 will want Ken Bolton. 150 Matt Moffat. Had a camp score coming through for that last contestant. Kenny Bolton had a camp score of 21.67. Open Vale Alamo. 21.67. We're watching on camp this time, 150 in the draw here in the opening round of our Ringers Western Gold Buckle Championship competition. We're watching this time from Stradbroke, I should say from Cabra. This is K&E Hanrahan's nomination. Matthew Moffat in the saddle. Horace Alley Cat. Our next contestant into the camp will be 151 Rod Jackson with Jackson Destiny. Number 52, 152 Terry Smith with Mouse. And 153 Paige Nanakara with Constantly Stylish. Well, the scores have come through for 150 in the competition. Horace Alley Cat, Matthew Moffat. We've got a camp score of 22.67. Horsework, we got 62.33. 4 for course. Grand total in this event of 89 points. Now that moves him up to number 5 in the competition overall with the score of 89 points. Matthew Moffat with Horace Alley Cat. Move up into number 5 in our competition. Well, at this stage, we are going to change here in the commentary box. I'd like to hand over to one of our guest announcers here for the weekend. It's great to have Leslie Deneen down here with us, of course, working with Gavin Beard. And, of course, she will take us through the next 50 competitors in this opening day of competition here at Willinga. Of course, we're nearly at the midway mark at 150 competitors. Thanks. I'll leave it up to you, Leslie. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thanks. 2, lock up.
Yeah, thank you, Glenn. That's Glenn Morgan, another one of our announcers here at Willinga Park for the week. And you're currently watching competitor 151, Rod Jackson, with Jackson's Desire Destiny. Standing by 152, Terry Smith, 153, Paige Nancaro, 154, Mark Palmer, 155, Dennis Hawkins, 156, Peter Bolton. Those competitors could please stand by. And as Glenn just said, we are currently at competitor 150, so we've got 218 competitors left to run to complete the first round of the Gold Buckle. The score very shortly for Rod Jackson and Jackson's Desiree Destiny. There's a cutout of 21.67. Horsework 62.33. Course 4 for a total of 88 points. That's an 88 for Rod Jackson and Jackson's Desiree Destiny. Out on course, competitor 152, Terry Smith and Mouse. Standing by then 153, Paige Narracow. So don't forget the State of Origin, Saturday afternoon. Score for competitor 152, Terry Smith and Mouse, cutout 21, horsework 55.3, course 3, for a total of 79.33. That's a 79.33 for Terry Smith and Mouse. Now watching competitor 153, Paige Narracow with Constantly Stylish. Standing by 154, Mark Palmer, 155, Dennis Hawkins, 156, Peter Bolton, 157, David Murphy, 158, Catherine Hinksberger, 159, Bryony Puttycombe, 160, Pat Cleaver, 161, Richard Barnett, 162, Zane Habman, and 163 will be Rowan marks. If those competitors could please stand by. And don't forget the State of Origin is on Saturday afternoon. The nominations are still open, so get your teams together and come and see Lauren in the competition office to nominate your team. It's $1,200 per team, and anyone who has nominated a team, could they please come and see Lauren with their team details. We'd like to get that organised today if we possibly can. That's going to be the State of Origin Saturday afternoon. It's going to be a lot of fun. Score for Paige Narracow and Constantly Stylish, cutout 22, horsework 52.67, course 3 for a total of 77.67. 77.67 for Paige Narracow and Constantly Stylish. Calls for his gate is on course. Competitor 154, Mark Palmer and Palmer's Dynamic. $155's on camp, Dennis Hawkins and Lobby. Stand by 156, Peter Bolton's Gifted Spin. 157, David Murphy's Shady Show Day. And 158, Catherine Hinksberger's Budgeroo Cindy. Score for competitor 154, Mark Palmer's Dynamic, cutout 21.33, horsework 62, course 4 for a total of 87.33. That's an 87.33 for Mark Palmer and Palmer's Dynamic. Selecting a beast is competitor 155, Dennis Hawkins and Loppy. Standing by 156, Peter Bolton. 157, David Murphy. 158, Catherine Hinksberger. 159, Bryony Puttycombe. 160, Pat Cleaver. 161, Richard Barnett. 162, Zane Haberman. 163, Rowan Marks. And 164, Fiona Palmer. So Willinga Park would like to thank the supporters of their naming rights partner, Ringers Western. And we'll have a cutout score very shortly there for Dennis Hawkins and Loppy. And that was a cutout of 19.67 for Dennis Hawkins and Loppy. Out on course, Hayfield competitor Peter Bolton with Gifted Spin. He comes in as competitor 156. Into the camp 157, David Murphy. Stand by 158, Catherine Hinksberger. 159, Bridie Puttycombe. 160, Pat Cleaver. Don't forget to go and check out our trade sites. There's quite a few people over there already set up, and the shopping's nice and easy this morning, so definitely go and check out all of our trade sites. Score for competitor 156, Peter Bolton, gifted spin. Cut out 14, horsework 63, course 4 for a total of 81. That's an 81 points for Peter Bolton, gifted spin. Now watching competitor 157, David Murphy and Shady Show Day. Into the camp should be 158, Catherine Hingsberger, standby 159, Bridie Punicombe, 160, Pat Cleaver, 161, Richard Barnett, 162, Zane Habman, 163, Rowan Marks. You're currently watching competitor 157, David Murphy and Shady Show Day. Score for competitor 157, David Murphy, Shady Show Day. Cut out 21, horsework 54.67, 3 for the course, and that is a total of 78.67. 78.67 for David Murphy and Shady Show Day. Next competitor is 158, Catherine Hingsberger and Budgeridoo Cindy. Standing by 159, Bryony Puddicombe, 160, Pat Cleaver, 161, Richard Barnett. Score very shortly for competitor 158, Catherine Hingsberger and Budgeroo Cindy. Cut out 20.67, horsework 62.33 and 4 for the course for a total of 87 points. 87 for Catherine Hingsberger and Budgeroo Cindy. Nebo horsewoman, Bryony Puddicombe, is now looking over her cattle. She comes in as competitor 159 with time checks. Standing by 160, Pat Cleaver, 161, Richard Barnett, 162, Zane Haberman, 163, Rowan Marks, 164, Fiona Palmer, 165, Ben Matum, 166, Ben Hall, 167, Fiona Holtz, 168, Greg Charlson, 169, Brendan Fitzgerald, 170, Brett Trotter, 171, Hugh Miles, 172, Cameron Webster and 173, Harley McIlveen. Could those competitors please stand by? And if you've just tuned in, you're watching the Gold Buckle Open Campdraft. This is the first round. We will have the first round all day today. And we just take this opportunity to thank our judges, Mr Wayne Smith, Mr David Rita and Mr Tom Williamson, presiding over the draft this morning. And we have a total of 368 competitors to run to complete the first round. And she's out on course. This is competitor 159, Bryony Puddicombe, and time checks. 160 is on camp, Pat Cleaver, standby 161, Richard Barnett, 162, Zane Haberman. Score for Bryony Puttycombe and time checks. Cut out 14.33, horsework 59.33 and 4 for the course, for a total of 77.67. 77.67 for Bryony Puttycombe and time checks. Next competitor is 160, Pat Cleaver with Scramble. This is Liz Fitzgerald's nomination. Standing by then 161, Richard Barnett, 162, Zane Haberman, 163, Rowan Marks. So a very big thank you to Ringers Western. Willinga Park would like to thank the support of their naming rights partner, Ringers Western. Ringers Western was formed in the rugged Kimberley region of Western Australia in 2012. Ringers Western will always be inspired by their roots, and like a ringer, Ringers Western, with its grassroots simplicity, high standard of design and quality, it's tough, adaptable, sometimes cheeky, but offers you class and loyalty. This basis of grassroots simplicity, high standard of design and quality sets Ringers Western way ahead of the mob. So a very big thank you to our naming rights sponsor, Ringers Western. And we'll have a score very shortly for competitor 160, Pat Cleaver and Scrabble. Cut out 19.67, horsework 57.33, 3 for the course, for a total of 81 points for Pat Cleaver and Scrabble. Next competitor 161, Richard Barnett with Ophir Whisper. Standing by then 162, Zane Haberman's Crystal, 163, Rowan Marks, Turner Marks, Sharapova. Then we'll have 164, Fiona Palmer, 165, Ben Matum. But Richard's call for his gate is competitor 161, Richard Barnett with Ophir Whisper, all the way from Singleton. Score very shortly for competitor 161, Richard Barnett and Ophir Whisper. Cut out 19.67, horsework 59, course 4 for a total of 82.67. That's an 82.67 for Richard Barnett and Ophir Whisper. Even further away as our next competitor comes all the way from Springshaw, competitor 162, Zane Haberman and Crystal. Standing by 163, Rowan Marks, 164, Fiona Palmer, 165, Ben Matum, 166, Ben Hall, 167, Fiona Holtz, 168, Greg Charlson, 169, Brendan Fitzgerald, 170, Brent Trotter, 171, Hugh Miles, 172, Cameron Webster, 173, Harley McIlveen, 174, Roger Grant, and 175 will be Lucas Roberts. That was Zane Haberman, competitor 162 with Crystal, has a cutout of 20.67. Currently on camp is competitor 163, Rowan Marks with Turner Marks, Sharapova. Standing by 164, Fiona Palmer. The score very shortly. For competitor 163, Rowan Marks, Turner Marks, Sharapova. cut out 22, horsework 63.67, course 4 for a total of 89.67. 89.67 for Rowan Marks and Turner Marks Sharapova. Calls for a gate, and she's out on course. Competitor 164, Fiona Palmer, Bina Larina. 165 goes on camp, Ben Matum. Stand by 166, Ben Hall. 167, Fiona Holtz. 168, Greg Charleston. 169, Brendan Fitzgerald. 170, Brent Trotter. 171, Hugh Miles. 172, Cameron Webster. 173, Harley McGilveen. And Fiona Palmer with Bina Larina has a cutout score of 19.33. 19.33. On course, competitor 165, Ben Matum, Moxie Storm. Ben Hall goes on camp at 166. Fiona Holt stands by at 167 and 168. Greg Charleston, please stand by. Competitor 165, Ben Matum, Moxie Storm, has a cutout of 21, horsework 63.67, 4 for the course, for a total of 88.67. 88.67 for Ben Matum, Moxie Storm. Ben Hall is our next competitor at 166 with Hunterview Conmays. This is Ben and Sherry Stanger's nomination, and Ben hails from Julia Creek. Standing by 167, Fiona Holtz. 168, Greg Charleston. 169, Brendan Fitzgerald. 170, Brent Trotter. And 171, Hugh Miles. On course, competitor 166, Ben Hall, Hunterview Conmays. Score for Ben Hall and Hunterview Conmays, cut out 20.33, horsework 55.67. That's a 3 for course and a total of 79. Total of 79 points there for Ben Hall, Hunterview Conmays. Out on course, competitor 167, Fiona Holtz and Harty. .168, Greg Charleston's on camp with Oakie's Girls. Stand by 169, Brendan Fitzgerald and Rainman, which you're currently watching. Competitor 167, Fiona Holtz and Harty. This is Fiona Gordon's nomination. The score very shortly for competitor 167, Fiona Holtz Hardy, cut out 15.33, horsework 54.67, coursework 3 for a total of 73 points there for Fiona Holtz and Hardy. Next competitor 168, that'll be Greg Charlson with Oakie's Girl. Greg is from Wagga Wagga. Next competitor then, 169 Brendan Fitzgerald, 170 Brent Trotter, 171 Hugh Miles, 172 Cameron Webster, 173 Harley McGilveen, 174 Roger Grant, 175 Lucas Roberts, 176 Josh Barnett, 177 Luke Morgan, 178 Matt Beaches and 179 Kim Stocks. Please stand by. Very big thank you to Pilatus Aircraft for sponsoring the Ladies Dash for Cash. Just doing a little tidy up in the camp, and we'll continue on very, very shortly with competitor 168, Greg Charlson and Oakie's Girl. So Willinga Park would like to thank the support of their season and principal partner, Forsyth, for their support and providing quality joint supplements not only for our equine and canine friends, but also for we humans. So scan the QR code around the venue for your chance to win the Ultimate Forsyth and Osteo Restore Joint Support Pack valued at over $2,500. So make sure you have a look at that QR code, scan it into your phone, and you're in the running to win the Ultimate Forsyth Osteo Restore Joint Support Pack valued at over $2,500. Is out on course. Competitor 168, Greg Charlson and Oakie's Girl. 169 goes on camp, Brendan Fitzgerald's Rainman. Standby 170, Brent Trotter and Treat. That was a cutout score of 22.33 for Greg Charlson and Oakie's Girl. Out on course, Roma competitor Brendan Fitzgerald. He comes out as competitor 169, riding Rainman. On camp should be 170, Brent Trotter. Standby 171, Hugh Miles. 172, Cameron Webster. Score for competitor 169, Brendan Fitzgerald and Rainman. Cut out 21.33, horsework 59.33 and 4 for the course for a total of 84.67 points for Brendan Fitzgerald and Rainman. Cutting out now is competitor 170, Brent Trotter and Treat, all the way from Gunnedah. Standing by then 171 Hugh Miles, 172 Cameron Webster, 173 Harley McGilveen. That was a cutout of 20.67 for Brent Trotter and Treat. We go down now to competitor 171, Hugh Miles and Tilly. He has travelled from Tamworth, and this is his own nomination, Tilly. Standing by 172, Cameron Webster, 173, Harley McIlveen, 174, Roger Grant, 175, Lucas Roberts, 176, Josh Barnett, 177, Luke Morgan, 178, Matt Beaches. We have a score coming through for competitor 171, Hugh Miles and Tilly. Cut out 16.33, horsework 62.33 and 4 for the course for a total of 82.67. 82.67 for Hugh Miles and Tilly. This is our Wandoan competitor, competitor 172, Cameron Webster and Paris. It's only a week or so since we actually had a camp draft at Wandoan, so we're back into it again down here. Following Cameron, we'll have competitor 173, Harley McIlveen, 174, Roger Grant, 175, Lucas Roberts, 176, Josh Barnett, 177, Luke Morgan, 178, Matt Beaches, 179, Kim Stocks, 180, Jay Sharnock, 181, Bruce O'Dell, 182, Pat Hardwick. And we'll have a score for you shortly for competitor 172, Cameron Webster and Paris. Score for Cameron Webster's Paris, cut out 22. Horsework 60.67, course 4 for a total of 86.67. 86.67 for Cameron Webster and Paris. Currently watching competitor 163, Harley McIlveen and Heavenly Hank. Harley hails from Manila. And we'll give you a cutout score for her very shortly. Next competitor in the camp should be 174, Roger Grant, standing by 175, Lucas Roberts. And that was a cutout of 19 points, 19 only there for Harley McIlveen and Heavenly Hank. It was competitor 174, Roger Grant, and he's a metallic cat. I'll have his score shortly. And it was a cutout of 18 points there for for Roger Grant, and he's a metallic cat. So we're just doing some cattle care, and we're having a change of cattle. We do that every 25. And as soon as they've come in and settled, we'll continue down with competitor 175, Lucas Roberts and Gigi. Standing by, we should have 176, Josh Barnett, 177, Luke Morgan, 178, Matt Beaches, 179, Kim Stocks, 180, Jay Sharnock, 181, Bruce O'Dell, 182, Pat Hardwick, 183, Alex Croker, 184, Pete Comiskey, 185, Matthew Moffat, 186, Harry Steiger, 187, Karen Gardner, 188, Dean Rogers, 189, Troy Palmer. Out on course, competitor 175, Lucas Roberts and Gigi. This is his own nomination. Into the camp goes 176, Josh Barnett, 177, standby, Luke Morgan. Score for Lucas Roberts Gigi, cut out 21, horsework 53.33 and 3 for the course for a total of 77.33. It's a 77.33 for Lucas Roberts and Gigi. You're now watching competitor 176, Josh Barnett, and time is sweet. On camp we should have 177, Luke Morgan, standby 178, Matt Beaches, 179, Kim Stocks. Score for competitor 176, Josh Barnett, time is sweet, cut out 21, horsework 58, course 4, for a total of 83. That's 83 points for Josh Barnett, and time is sweet. And he's out on course. Competitor 177, Luke Morgan and Corey. Into the camp should be 178, Matt Beaches, Blackwater Reprieve. That was competitor 177, Luke Morgan and Corey. We'll have a score very shortly for Luke. Matt Beaches is on camp at 178. Standing by 179, Kim Stocks, 180, Jay Sharnock, 181, Bruce O'Dell, and 182, Pat Hardwick. And Luke Morgan and Corey have a cutout score of 21.33, horsework 61.67, and 4 for the course for a total of 87 points. That's 87 for Luke Morgan and Corey. Calls for his gate and he's on course. Competitor 178, Matt Beaches and Blackwater Reprieve. Score for Matt Beaches and Blackwater Reprieve. Cut out 19.33, horsework 61.33 and 4 for the course for a total of 84.67 points. That's 84.67 for Matt Beaches and Blackwater Reprieve. Next competitor will be 179, Kim Stocks with Duran Jazz, standby 180, Jay Chinook with Strawn Parks Just a Moment, and 181 will be Bruce O'Dell's Scarlet. You're watching competitor 179, Kim Stocks and Duran Jazz. 180's on camp, Jay Sharnock, standby 181, Bruce O'Dell, 182, Pat Hardwick, 183, Alex Croker, 184, Pete Comiskey, 185, Matthew Moffat, and 186 is Harry Steiger. Score for Kim Stocks and Duran Jazz, cut out 16, horsework 59.67, 4 for the course, for a total of 79.67. 79.67 for Kim Stocks and Duran Jazz. You're watching competitor 180, Jay Sharnock with Strawn Park's Just a Moment. Into the camp should be 181, Bruce O'Dell, stand by 182, Pat Hardwick, 183, Alex Croker, 184, Pete Comiskey. Score for Jay Sharnock and Strawn Park's Just a Moment, cut out 21.33, horsework 55.33 and 3 for the course for a 79.67. 79.67 for Jay Sharnock, Strawn Park's Just a Moment. Next competitor, he's almost out on the course, competitor 181, Bruce O'Dell and Scarlett. Into the camp goes 182, Pat Hardwick. And that was a cutout of 21.33 for Bruce O'Dell and Scarlett. Looking over his cattle now is competitor 182, Pat Hardwick and Wicked Duck. There's nominations from Deepco Pastoral, and Pat Hardwick hails from Hawthorn. Following Pat, we'll have competitor 183, Alex Croker, 184, Pete Comiskey, 185, Matthew Moffat, 186, Harry Steiger, 187, Kieran Gardner, 188, Dean Rogers, 189, Troy Palmer, 190, Matt French, 191, Glenn Peacock, 192, Sue Willis, 193, Mark Budsworth, 194, Vicky Evans, 195, Scott Bandy, 196, Andrew Turvey. If those competitors could please stand by. Currently watching competitor 182, Pat Hardwick and Wicked Duck. Score for 182, Pat Hardwick and Wicked Duck, cut out 17.33, horsework 61.33 and 4 for the course for a total of 82.67. 82.67 for Pat Hardwick and Wicked Duck. On camp is competitor 183, Alex Croker, This One Time. This is his own nomination. Standing by 184, Pete Comiskey, 185, Matthew Moffat, 186, Harry Steiger, 187, Kieran Gardner. Score for Alex Croker, This One Time, cut out 19, horsework 49.67, course 3, for a total of 71.67. 71.67 for Alex Croker, This One Time. Nebo competitor Pete Comiskey's on camp at 184 with Roy. Matthew Moffat's at the gate at 185 with JMD Fascinator. Standby 186, Harry Steiger. 187, Karen Gardner. 188, Dean Rogers. 189, Troy Palmer. 190, Matt French. 191, Glenn Peacock. 192, Sue Willis. 193, Mark Buttsworth. 194, Vicky Evans. So currently watching competitor 184, Pete Comiskey and Roy. Score very shortly for competitor number 184, Pete Comiskey and Roy. Cut out 22, horsework 58, course 3 for a total of 83. So 22, 58 and 3 for a total of 83 points for Pete Comiskey and Roy. This is competitor 185, Matthew Moffat and JMD Fascinator, owned by D&J Bell. Matthew hails from Cabra, and we'll have a score for him very, very shortly.
Go. 2, 4.
You're watching competitor 186, Harry Steger and Bell's Magic. Standing by 187, Karen Gardner. 188, Dean Rogers. 189, Troy Palmer. 190, Matt French. Okay, we have a score for Matthew Moffat and JMD Fascinator. Cut out 23, horsework 64.67, 4 for the course, for a total of 91.67, 91.67. And that is a new leader, Matthew Moffat, JMD Fascinator, with a total of 91.67 points. And we'll have a score for you for competitor 186, Harry Steiger and Bell's Magic. Cut out 22, horsework 63.33, course 4, for a total of 89.33, 89.33 for Harry Steiger and Bell's Magic. Looking over cattle now is competitor 187, Karen Gardner. This is Cahoots Black Betty, owned by SKG Performance Horses. Okay. On course, competitor 187, Karen Gardner and Cahoots Black Betty. Dean Rogers is on camp at 188 with Even Con, standby 189, Troy Palmer, 190, Matt French, 191, Glenn Peacock, 192, Sue Willis, 193, Mark Buttsworth, 194, Vicky Evans, and 195 will be Scott Bandy. And that was a cutout of 15 only there for Kieran Gardner and Chahoot's Black Betty. Just be aware that there will be an arena drag at 200. We're currently at competitor 188, Dean Rogers and Even Con, all the way from Bega. Into the camp goes 189, Troy Palmer, Blue Toon, standby 190, Matt French. Score for Dean Rogers and Even Con, cut out 21, horsework 60.33, 4 for the course for a total of 85.33. It's an 85.33 for Dean Rogers and Even Con. Looking over his cattle now is competitor 189, Troy Palmer and Blue Toons. This is Troy and Fiona's nomination. Standing by 190, Matt French, 191, Glenn Peacock, 192, Sue Willis, 193, Mark Buttsworth, 194, Vicky Evans, 195, Scott Bandy, 196, Andrew Turvey, 197, Mark Schultz, 198, Roy Toby Roth, and 199, Ben McNaughton, and 200, Josh Gibson. Please stand by. These out on course. Competitor 189, Troy Palmer and Blue Toons. Matt's on camp at 190, Matt French, standby 191, Glenn Peacock. So a very big thank you to the support partners of Willinga Park, Construction Control, Bishops Milton, Coolabah Performance Horses, ECM Livestock, Jackson's Ranch and Ben Max. Score for Troy Palmer, competitor 189 and Blue Toons, cut out 22.67, horsework 62.33 and 4 for the course for an 89. 89 total for Troy Palmer and Blue Toons. Our judges have given the go-ahead to competitor 190, Matt French with Binner Chief. And we take this opportunity to thank Wayne Smith, David Reeder, Tom Williamson for judging our open draft this morning. And don't forget that State of Origin draft. Go and see Lauren. Yeah. If you've nominated, she needs to know a bit more about your team, and there are nominations still open. So get your teams together, $1,200 per team, $1,200 per team to nominate, and there's still openings there for you if you're interested. Watching competitor 190, Matt French and Binner Chief. This is Chrissy French's nomination. Glenn Peacock goes on camp at 191, standby 192, Sue Willis, 193, Mark Buttsworth. Score for Glenn Peacock and Steger Oh, sorry, score for Matt French and Binner Chief. Cut out 20.67, horsework 56.33, 3 for the course for a total of 80. That's an 80 points there for Matt French and Binner Chief. And Glenn Peacock is on the camp at 191 with Steger. Stand by 192, Sue Willis, Dukes S Boot. And unfortunately that is a no score there for Glenn Peacock and Steger. We just tidy up the camp and we'll continue on with competitor 192, Sue Willis and Dukes S Boot. Standing by 193, Mark Buttsworth, 1 Stylish Pepto. 194, Vicky Evans and 195, Scott Bandy. You're watching competitor 192, Sue Willis and Dukes Boot. This is her own nomination. Into the camp goes 193, Mark Buttsworth, 194, Standby, Vicky Evans, 195, Scott Bandy, 196, Andrew Turvey, 197, Mark Schultz. I'll have a score shortly for competitor 192, Sue Willis and Dukes S Boot. While we're waiting for Sue's score, you're watching competitor 193, Mark Buttsworth, 1 Stylish Pepto. Vicky Evans goes on camp at 194, standby 195, Scott Bandy. I'll have a score very shortly for Sue Willis and Mark Buttsworth, but you're watching competitor 194, Vicky Evans, and Tallawal Classic Acres. This is Vicky's prefix, so this is one she's bred and owned by Vicky. Standing by 195, Scott Bandy, 196, Andrew Turvey, 197, Mark Schultz, 198, Toby Rolfe, 199, Ben McNaughton, and 200, Josh Gibson. Standby also 201, Jason Penny, 202, Carl Green. We have a score for Sue Willis's Duke's S boot, cut out 15.33, horsework 57, course 4 for a total of 76.33. So 76.33 for Sue Willis and Duke's S boot. Mark Buttsworth has a cutout score of 21.33 for One Stylish Pepto, 21.33. And unfortunately a no score there for Vicky Evans and Classic Acres. And we continue now to 195 Scott Bandy and the Ranch 4X Gold. Okay, just did a little tidy up and we're underway again with competitor 195, Scott Bandy and the Ranch 4X Gold. This is Travis Bandy's nomination. And these guys hail from Tooma. And he's out on course. Scott Bandy, the Ranch 4X Gold. Into the camp, 196, Andrew Turvey, standby 197, Mark Schultz, 198, Toby Rowe, 199, Ben McNaughton, 200, Josh Gibson, 201, Jason Penny, 202, Carl Green, 203 is out, 204, Tom Barnes, and 205, Hugh Miles. But you're watching out on course, competitor 195, Scott Bandy and the Ranch 4X Gold. Score for Scott Bandy and the Ranch 4X Gold, cut out 22, horsework 62, course 4 for a total of 88. That's 88 points for Scott Bandy and the Ranch 4X Gold. Andrew Turvey is now in camp looking over his cattle. He's riding Knipe's Destiny's Playgirl. Andrew hails from the other property of Terry Snow. He comes all the way from Joanda Plains out near Wandoan. Andrew runs the show out there and runs a very big draft as well. That'll be around about August sometime. He's competitor 196, riding Knipe's Destiny's Playgirl. Standby 197, Mark Schultz, 198, Toby Rowe, and 199, Ben McNaughton. I'll have a score very shortly for Andrew Turvey and Knipe's Destiny Playgirl. Cut out 22.33, horsework 55.67, course score of 3, for a total of 81. 81 points for Andrew Turvey and Knipe's Destiny's Playgirl. Calls for his gate, and he's out on course. Competitor 197, Mark Schultz, and Shay Reality Check. Toby Rofe goes on camp at 198 with Breeze. Score for Mark Schultz and Shay's Reality Check, cut out of 20, horsework 61, course 4, for a total of 85. It's an 85 for Mark Schultz and Shay's Reality Check. Watching competitor 198, Toby Rofe and Breeze. In the camps, 199, Ben McNaughton, standby 200, Josh Gibson, 201, Jason Penny, 202, Carl Green, 203, Tom Barnes, 204, Hugh Miles. Have a score very shortly for competitor 198, Toby Rofe and Breeze. Cut out 15, horsework 60.67, course 4 for a total of 79.67. So 79.67 for Toby Rofe and Breeze. 2 competitors left to go before we drag. That'll be competitor 199, Ben McNaughton and AMAC Jigsaw. And then we'll have 200, Josh Gibson's Pickles. And that was competitor 199, Ben McNaughton and AMAC Jigsaw. Score coming shortly. Cut out 21. Cut out 21, horsework 52, course 3 for a total of 76. 76 for Ben McNaughton and AMAC Jigsaw. On camps number 200, Josh Gibson and Pickles, standing by 201, Jason Penny, 1 more curry. Right. Out on course, one of our major sponsors, competitor 200, Josh Gibson and Pickles. Score for competitor 200, Josh Gibson and Pickles. Cut out 20.33, horsework 57.33, and 3 for the course, for a total of 80.67. 80.67 for Josh Gibson and Pickles. So we will be doing a drag of the arena as quickly as we possibly can, and we'll change our cattle, and then we'll continue on with competitor 201, Jason Penny, one more curry. We'll also have 202 Carl Green, 203 is the scratching, 204 Tom Barnes, 205 Hugh Miles, 206 John Mulcahy, 207 Graham Rosinski, and 208 will be Robert Chamberlain. So we'll have those competitors after we have done our drag of the arena, and we certainly will change the cattle over. And then I will hand you over to Gavin Beard.